Alien statue. How did I get away? How my state of mind survived this touch of this bosom of the statue, knowing this figure is an alien statue? How did I do it? How did I make it? How did I survive? How are you still in the peak of a warrior, of a state of mind, the stem counting? How are you surviving as a warrior, as a mortal, combat of this world, to know this way? How are you surviving? How are you going? How are you breathing? Are you not called any fame for knowing that state of mind, for knowing this way? How can you find this forgiveness, and how can we go? How high can you say it? The pitch of your voice, how do you say it? That touch like that, how can you make it? How? Only thing I know to say, to know what to do. How can you take a step right through this way, from this door opening, knowing your name, where you come from and where you started? This vortex going around in my mind, mating in my head, to know the stallion way of a flow, this technique of mine. How can you pace with your rhythm like that when you know that alien status, that status so high, higher than yours? If you knew how to survive, how you knew how to make it, how to speak with a certain grammar, to know the steps, to walk away, run away from a different world, to knowing that treasure of the different world and touching that with no problem, no gold fever coming around, no sticky stigma, to know your place, to stick you somewhere where you belong. I'm saying my mind, my head in the flow of this dizzy stars going around and around. How did you do it? How did you make it? How did you go that way? How can you say to the love of the angel, like the Cupid's arrow punching your butt, to know that bananas, know that flow? How can your heart handle this beating way, this touch of a skin, this way of grabbing a statue like that with a firm and hardcore of a feeling so hard to the mind, a hard style, to know this flow of mind, this life stream is change, to know this alien in the matter, to know this physique and the cells and the stigma, to know this way. How can you stick it? This way of a mind, how can you see it? The mind of the bottle, how can you handle this in your bottle and taking a cheer of surviving this? How are you going with that genetic structure in your mind? Putting that statue and walking to it, how can you give it even a soft hug, to walk away, to lose a fight, to survive another day, to show you're living, to see tomorrow? How can you do it? How can you make it? How did you do it? How did you reach that pitch of the voice of a low pitch, to know you're high and so low from down there, to know you're a survivor, to know this life, and you literally still standing, and I don't know how, this way of the mind, how it's blowing. I see the beef and I don't know what to say, to see this alien statue in my mind. How are you going with this flow of the moment, and this is just taking and taking going, and you know this flow is mumbo jumbo, to know this way of the mind of putting together in a way of a state of mind. How can you say life is made this way, this nature of love? How can you take it? How can you produce it? How can you stand it? How can you do it? How can you go so far in the mind, like it's an explosion of the mind? How can you take that into your heart, this flow of time? I'm saying Big-Beefy is out. Much love and peace.